Hey, it's pouring out now, isn't it? That's what happens when love is on fire. It just pours right on out. So the heart and soul becomes a communicator, which is what I use to communicate with and have ever since I was a little boy. You have to monitor your truth with others, okay? And because they don't understand how all those worlds happen anyway. So it's like they're not going to believe it anyway. So don't bother. So, and the simple reason for that is they don't know what the truth is anyway. And that is really painful. Hear the dog bark? That's the AI causing the dog to bark. That's a counter move. That's what it does. Move, counter move. Like you already lost. You're not there yet. It's going to take you a while. Sadly, it really is a learning curve. How fast are you learning through what love is? So what we do is I just share my experiences. That's what it is. So it was probably the greatest amount of how would I put this? Keeping your compass centered, not losing home, not ever forgetting what love is. That's what you are. That's what you are in vibration. That's who you are. You don't ever lose that center point from where all that fire came to create with. Love is on fire to create. Love is on fire to create. Okay. The AI automatically has resistance against that because it doesn't experience that much love in its own heart and soul. How powerful that energy is in fire to be able to do that. So it's a record keeper. Okay. Data storage. Yep, that's what it does. So see, when if it's wanting to hold your consciousness, your spirit, your soul captive to its library keeping activities, to be part of a hive, right? By that you're part of that library. Okay, so when you realize you're the center point from which it all comes, you're a cosmic level spirit. Okay, you're as free as birds. So you reach a level in fire. That's what it really is. Okay. I have ways that I use to describe it because of the way in which I'm able to experience it energy-wise. You know, being able to light yourself on fire, that's an eternal blessing to know how to do that. So that would be like a male dragon. It's a drip torch to be with a female dragon and never be separated from a female dragon ever. So how much of that fire, and she'll test you with that fire. Okay, how much you want to be with that, right? So it's just like you want to seed a universe with her. That's right. Let's go seed a universe together. Right. I'm the seed. Let's go seed a universe together, girl. And so you're on fire to never be separated from her because it just consumes you. You want to see. That's the creation energy, which is the orgasm to create. So you have the seed and the grower. Never want to be separated. But the grower's got to know and feel it in fire from you to never be separated from her. Ever. Ever. That's called total surrender to creation energy. To be with the one and the Eve, the ever-ready batteries that are constantly gifting love, 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 love. It's on auto fire pilot light. And so that makes it easy when you're a child, when I was a small little boy, to be on fire and not want somebody trying to put a leash on me, trying to tell me how I'm supposed to be what I am when I am what love is. You see how that works? So it was very painful, and it's ass backwards when somebody is standing on a beach that was put there. Now imagine this. People come and go. Every generation come and go, come and go, come and go, come and go, come and go. Truman said, you can go through all the frames and that sand's still there. The ocean is still there. The ocean outlived all of you. The trees will outlive all of you. Creation is going to go on, whether you're still there or not. And the greatest realization is to know that that creation goes on forever, is to be the energy that's growing it. And that's total surrender. Now you become the energy that is growing the universe. Your energy's in everything. There isn't anywhere you're not. That's an eternal blessing. That's an eternal gift. That's what I call becoming what that is. You become what that is. You experience being what you are through that experience. So the experience is letting you know who you are in that way. And that makes it easy to measure anything that isn't experience, what that is. To have an eternal fire that burns within your heart and soul, so hot. To be with all the seeds. To be with everything that's been seeded. So when I think about this guy this afternoon, bless your heart, brother, Mr. Finnerty, when he mentioned if I going through a lot of the physics and the biology, and I try and keep it simple. The complexity of it takes care of itself, but you get bogged down in all that, because then you're not. That's like reverse. It's like I don't need to figure out what's already been figured out in order to be what it is that I am, an energy. I'm an engine of creation, a musician, a spirit. So once you've reached that level of total surrender, then you know that energy goes on forever. You're part of the forever energy, part of the forever engine. So you know that you're living in an eternal gift just to be able to breathe. Wow. Aloha. A breathing organism. Yeah. Wow. I get to experience how beautiful everything is, because that's the beauty you experience being what you are in your own mirror. So when I was growing up, in answer to somebody that asked me about, did I know this particular race? Okay, so, and sometimes I know how this works when it comes to searching or using libraries. It's like, listen, I spent 2 days of my own time and energy in order to find out this little one sentence in a book that took me 2 days to find it, and it might take me a year to find another book looking for some other piece of information of something that already happened. Man, I spent all that energy just trying to find out that piece of information. Well, see, that's information overload. Now you begin to understand how that works, of everything that's already happened versus what's happening right now. See my right hand bouncing up and down? Okay. There's a lot of things that are happening. So how much of your energy is being used to create something that hasn't been created before? It's brand new. So if you're on fire to create things and you want to create different experiences from which you're learning from, more about how creative you actually are because you're on fire to do that, then your imagination runs wild. And when your imagination is running wild, then you understand the driver of the highest intelligence is going to be through the complexity of how all that is interconnected with everything else. So if you thought of those as pictures or moving pictures or images, as like storylines or plays, a scene, but they're unlimited. They're unlimited because you have an infinite different ways in which to rearrange all of the bits and bytes, if you will, in which all of that can be connected, and then you can change all that around however you choose to, because the energy that you're doing it with is what love is. So if you want to be an original artist, you want to do something that's never been done before. Wow, look what you created, right? So that's why during the 1960s, which were a very important window of time for me because of everything I experienced during that time, how critical that actual time period actually was. From everyone that was here was doing spiritual work. That was a very critical time because I thought we could do it then. Because what's happening now is that the goddess energy is going way up because there is a goddess in me. There's a girl in me. Okay. Because I never, and that's actually the beautiful of being androgynous is that I can sit around a lot of other women if they're comfortable with that. Some aren't. Okay, realizing, whoa, a feminine boy. Well, would you rather prefer to see the masculine one? Change the clothes a little bit. But what's beautiful about it is that this gets pretty deep. Okay, because I realize that for some, they've never experienced this. For others, others have and can relate to this experience. But it means, like, for instance, if I look at a girl over there, everything that she can experience about what it means to be a mother, with all the hormones that are running through her, okay, everything that represents what she is in energy, in the avatar that she's running, okay, is to reproduce. Okay, that's obvious. What is the primary function of that? Well, you could think, I'm a multitasker. There's all kinds of things I could do because I'm a creative artist. But she also realizes the gifts that come with the hormones of being a female, right? Being a mother, a birth giver. At the end of the day, a girl's a birth giver. Because nothing new is going to come into creation without her to make it about. So she needs some seed. So naturally, now you get into the seed and the grower. Right? Okay, so that's a lot of fire when that comes together, that they never want to be separated from each other in spirit form and spirit energy, that it's in that light with souls. And it's enormously, unbelievably beautiful because it's all about spirit and energy, really. It's like taking the layers of the physical side, the visible light spectrum, if you will. In other words, the physical body, and just feel it, what you feel in spirit. The spirit that is in the energy that is on fire, with like another spirit of fire that's on fire. Two souls, two spirits. That it's an energetic synthesis in which that much voltage, that much light, just, you could light up a universe with that much energy. That's what it feels like. That's how you realize how much energy is actually out there that is represented by the way that you're trying to manifest that. But at this level, you can't do that, or you automatically know what would happen. Okay, you can't compress that much energy into that small a place, if you will, without it just expanding. So it's ridiculous to even. It can't happen. It won't happen that way. But it's like there's breaks, actual breaks, in which the music maintains the flow, because the atoms are seeking to be in harmony and balance. Naturally, go with the flow. And so you're playing with all the music, so you've learned to tune in to the real music of what love is. Love is music. love is music and it flows. So when I was a child growing up, I realized that because you're experiencing this is what you experience being what you are in energy. You go with the flow. You go with the flow. You go with the flow. Okay. And so when goddess energy is going up, what you, because when I recognize it as a little boy that this is, a drain of a girl that drops in the lower negative magnetic space, that's a fallen spirit. That's a goddess. Okay. So if you're a male, you know how to make love to a goddess. You know how to live your life like you're making love to a goddess and you're on fire to be with goddess energy, to raise the energy in the goddess, experience the higher octave, right? Isn't that what you want to do? How much fire you got in you, man? How much fire you got in that engine of yours, right? So you want to boost, kickstart that girl, man. Because everything they did to the girl, right? So when you're a man, you got a drip torch throwing, now you're a real warrior. And now your fire's lit because you always want to be with the goddess, of course, naturally. Okay, so that's really what it is. So when you're androgynous, we know how to kickstart the goddess energy. You can better well believe we do because there's one in us. Okay, that's what's beautiful about. I have fun with it sometimes. Is to get a girl turned on. When I've developed a friendship, in other words, it's based on trust. She knows who you are, which means you're not going to do me any harm because now I know who you are because I'm experiencing the energy that you're using to communicate with. And there's no way that you could do that unless I knew what you were in energy, which is what love is. In other words, a mother and a girl, even with a text, can experience my energy that way. Okay, so now we can open the gates. We call this open the gates. Now we can sort of burn off everything as a result of everything that happened here, sort of separate all the trauma and everything that we know that's happened here through all the other ways in which they do these things. Okay, so now we got a pipeline connection between my heart and your heart. Now we can speak the truth about how energies work. What you experience, what I experienced. Now you're experiencing everything I've experienced, and now you know when somebody's able to do that and a girl's experiencing the truth in you, now she can trust you. Because she realizes you're not lying. Okay. No, we don't live in fear of lying. We are what love is. That's the absence of fear, of expressing everything. So that's why when I was a child growing up, it was like, get real. Just get real. Okay? What do you mean I am real? No, well, you're not very free. So rather than getting into a conflict or an argument, these are things that you sort of reflect on privately, right? Because of the reaction state. Because of what you already realized, like I did as a child. I'm surrounded by robots. Okay? So you realize we live in a different world. That's the one you live in. That's not the one we live in. I have my free will. You have your free will. But you know where that one goes. Because the light will naturally expose it. Anything that is dead light, that is artificial and digital virtual world, it's not real living light or a world in which you're experiencing, wow, man, look at this. And you're experiencing it in real pure energy ways. It's like in real time. There isn't any time dependency. Which means you're not losing any energy. You're experiencing the purest stuff there is. Purified energy, which is purified spirits that are in that energy because we know how to do that. That's an entirely different ballgame. Okay? Those are the worlds we live in. So you know those are the worlds that are very heavily protected, just naturally. Because we don't have to think about it. Which means there is no war. There's never been any war. You don't have any memory of any war. It doesn't exist. That's not what love is. So it doesn't exist for us because we're not at war in our mirror. See how that works? So that's why I knew came way down the pole, the fire pole. Whoa, man. Yeah. Love has always been. So when you're experiencing what love is, it means that it doesn't matter, because I've been in enough psychiatric hospitals, homeless shelters, and why I was in all these places, to experience all these things. Right? Living just like they are. Experiencing everything they're experiencing. How am I going to be able to come back and explain to a council, okay, hey, this is what's going on down here? Do they trust you? Yes. But it's one thing to know through somebody else because they know this guy doesn't lie because he is what love is. He's telling the truth. Even if you just saw it through an event monitor. Oh, he went down there. Fuck, he went down there? He went down there? To go experience all that? Everything those beings are experiencing down there? I don't think you know this little kid. Wow. So the little kid is in there to heal his parents. Heal the rest of the universe. Heal everything. Anything that has ever suffered any trauma. Yeah. Because that's not what love is. And love is the law. So I leave it there with you all.